Well, as India played in the T20s against South Africa, I must admit it disappointed me hugely that South Africa chose to rest a lot of key players for the test matches against Australia coming up later. And they were happy to go in without an Amla, without a Moko, without a Rabada, without a Nangidi, without a De Kock. So many of their key players out, and I have no doubt at all in my mind that if it was a crucial big game series, AB de Villiers would have played as well. And it's starting to become a bit of a trend in Australia, do it all the time. I mean, I remember February 2017, Australia playing a test match in India. They're also playing a T20 international against Sri Lanka at the same time, back home there. And what it told me was, it's okay, we'll send our best team to India, but anybody can go and play that T20 against Sri Lanka. They've done it again. There's a tri-series. Australia have actually done very well in it, but the test team already in South Africa, only Warner will go out to play there. There was no Stark, there was no Cummins, none of them playing the T20 tournament. England did that as well with the Champions Trophy. Soon after that, they rested Moeen Ali, Ben Stokes, Joe Root. Now, Deepu has come up with some very interesting stats on how easily people miss T20 games. So take a look at some of the big players, see how many test matches they miss and how many T20 internationals do they miss. And look in particular for people like Amla, for Root, for Williamson, even Trent Boult and Steve Smith in particular. It's almost as if they're saying, nah, it's okay, I'll miss the T20. What we have done as a result is created a prioritization between Test cricket, one-day cricket and T20 cricket. And I have no problem with that if that is how everybody thinks. But the fun part is that the maximum viewership is coming from T20 matches, but also the maximum revenue is coming from T20 matches. And in effect, what we are saying is, look, we want all your money. And don't forget, television rights money does come in nation versus nation contest, but also to see the stars. So in effect, we're saying, give us your money, but we won't give you our best players. And I'm afraid going forward that is untenable. And I'd be very surprised if networks and media and everybody else and spectators don't start complaining about it. As T20 evolves as a genre and we find that there's specialist T20 players coming in, can you almost put out a completely different T20 team? And I have absolutely no problems with that. I think Australia are taking the lead and going in that direction. A lot of their T20 players don't actually play test match cricket, but then we have to make the T20 players the stars. When the series is announced, when you start to get the little rumbles of excitement from the fans, then they must be for the T20 stars. The T20 series cannot be defined by who is not playing. Or as England's coach said, England's Australian coach, Trevor Bayliss, has said, don't have T20 internationals at all, only play franchise cricket. And you can see straight away why the administrators are going to be upset with that. Because when they go out to negotiate rights packages, one of the questions that the people who fund cricket ask is how much limited overs cricket, how much T20 cricket. You take away T20 internationals, the value of rights will go down very quickly. You could turn down and argue that in places, especially in India, but also maybe in England with a new tournament coming up, in Australia with the Big Bash, for Pakistan with the PSL, that if you're getting money from your own franchise tournament, then you don't mind taking a lesser amount for your rights package for your normal bilateral cricket. But there are many teams, there are many countries that don't make a lot of money. In fact, T20 franchise cricket is not making the boards too much money just yet. And you can see why people like New Zealand, West Indies, Sri Lanka will all be up in arms if that happens. I believe the solution is to start respecting the little child that we are taking for granted. We are looking at T20 cricket as this little pot that all of us can put our hands in and take whatever we can get out of that. I think it's time to give the T20 international a little more respect. And so we have a situation where one generation is saying, you know what, it's only T20 cricket. And we've got another generation, a bigger generation, a more paying generation that is saying, you know what, wow, it's T20 cricket. If one says it's only T20, one says, wow, it's T20, then they're marching on different paths and it gets untenable. I expect a solution very soon because the protests will start mounting.